Welcome back to the Privacy Report. Today we're digging into something really fundamental for digital security at home or in the office.
Yeah, it's something often overlooked, I think. We spend a lot of time worrying about threats from the internet.
Right, like hackers outside?
Exactly. But we don't always think about the risks inside our own network, with all those devices connected together.
And there's so many now, aren't there? I mean, just look around. You've got your phone, your laptop.
Smart TV, maybe a security camera, smart lights, even a smart thermostat.
They're all on the same Wi-Fi network, sharing everything,
And that's the crux of it, isn't it? They implicitly trust each other because they're on the same network.
which is a huge vulnerability.
It really is. Because if just one of those devices, maybe one of the cheaper, less secure smart gadgets gets compromised, the attacker isn't just controlling your smart plug. They have a foothold inside.
And then they can move sideways, right? That lateral movement everyone talks about.
Precisely. They hop from that vulnerable smart light bulb over to your main computer or maybe your backup drive. The really sensitive stuff.
Because it's all just one big, flat, open network. Like an open plan office where anyone can wander over to anyone else's desk.
Exactly. A flat network is basically an invitation for attackers to pivot. So what we're exploring today is how to build some internal walls. We're talking about network segmentation.
A quiet strategy, but sounds like a really powerful one for creating private zones within your own space.
It absolutely is.
Okay, good stuff. And just before we dive deeper, quick reminder, you can always subscribe to our email newsletter for more tips and details over at theprivacyreport.net.
Definitely worth checking out.
So, segmentation. Let's break that down. What does digital separation actually mean in practice? Why isn't just having a good firewall enough?
Okay, so think of your main internet router's firewall as the front door lock for your house. It keeps unwanted guests out from the street, the internet.
Right. Keeps the burglars out.
Yeah. But segmentation, that's like building walls inside the house. In a typical setup, once you're inside that front door, every room is open. Every device can see and talk to every other device.
The open plan house again.
Exactly that analogy.
Yeah.
Your smart TV can technically see your work laptop. Your security camera can see your phone. They're all in the same big room.
Okay.
Segmentation lets you build, well, digital rooms and walls. You group devices. Maybe your work stuff goes in one room, your smart home gadgets in another, guests in a third.
And you put doors between them. Or maybe you lock some doors entirely.
Precisely. You control which rooms can communicate. You ensure that, say, the devices in the smart home room can't just wander into the work computer room.
So if that smart camera gets hacked...
It's trapped in its room. The hacker can't easily use it to hop over and attack your laptop because the network itself, the structure, prevents it.
That makes sense. It contains the damage. Stops that lateral movement cold.
That's the immediate win. You limit the blast radius of any single compromise. The attacker might get the camera, but they can't see your backup drive from there. It's architecturally impossible.
Okay, that sounds incredibly useful. But it also sounds maybe a bit complicated, like my standard internet router probably doesn't do this.
Generally, no. Your basic ISP router, or even many you buy off the shelf, they're designed for simplicity. They connect everything together easily. They might have a guest network feature.
Yeah, I think mine has that.
Which is a basic form of segmentation, and it's good. But for real control, for building multiple distinct zones with specific rules, you usually need a different piece of hardware.
Okay, what are we talking about then?
We're talking about a managed switch.
Right. I've heard of network switches, those little boxes with lots of ports.
Yeah.
But managed, what's different?
So a regular switch, often called an unmanaged or dumb switch, just connects devices. It passes data along but doesn't really think about it. A managed switch is intelligent. It's like the traffic controller for your internal network.
Okay. It has some brains.
Exactly. It gives you the power to configure things. And the key technology it unlocks for segmentation is VLANs.
VLANs, okay. Virtual local area networks. That sounds technical.
It can seem that way, but the concept is pretty straightforward. Imagine your physical network cables are like big water pipes. A VLAN lets you run multiple separate virtual pipes inside that main physical pipe.
So same wire, but different channels within it.
Pretty much. Your work computer gets its own virtual pipe, your smart TV gets another, your guest Wi-Fi gets a third. Even though they might plug into the same physical switch, the managed switch keeps their traffic isolated within their assigned VLAN.
Like different lanes on a highway, kept separate by the switch.
That's a great way to think about it. So the first power of the managed switch is creating these separate VLANs, these virtual networks.
Okay.
The second, and maybe most critical power, is setting the rules between them. You decide which VLANs can talk to each other and how.
Ah, so this is where the walls and locked doors come in.
Exactly. You can say, okay, the smart home VLAN can talk to the internet, but it absolutely cannot initiate any connection to the work VLAN.
So my smart thermostat can get updates online, but it can't try to scan my laptop for open files.
Precisely. You lock it down to only what it needs.
Mhm.
And there's a third power, too, monitoring.
Monitoring.
Yeah, because it's managing the traffic, a managed switch can often give you visibility into what's going on. You might be able to see if, say, a device in your IoT VLAN is suddenly trying really hard to talk to something in your secure work VLAN.
Which would be a huge red
A
flag.
massive red flag. It gives you a chance to investigate.
Okay, this level of control sounds fantastic for privacy and security, but I'm guessing this isn't standard equipment.
Yeah.
What's the barrier to entry? Is this expensive? Hard to set up.
That's the practical question, right? It does take a bit more effort than just plugging in a router. And yes, you typically need to buy a managed switch. The good news is they've become much more affordable. You can often find decent ones, especially for home or small office use, for, say, under $100, maybe even less sometimes.
Okay, not free, but maybe not prohibitive if you're protecting important data.
Right. And you need to be willing to log into its interface and configure those VLANs and rules. It's not quite plug and play.
Let's make it concrete. We've talked about that 3-segment example. Can we walk through that? Most people have this mix of devices.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's imagine 3 zones, 3 VLANs.
Okay, zone 1, the vault. This is your main work computer, maybe your personal laptop if it has sensitive stuff, and definitely your local backup drive. High trust, needs maximum protection.
Right. This needs to be basically invisible to the other zones.
Zone 2, the smart home zoo, thermostat, smart speakers, TV, cameras, maybe that connected fridge. These things need internet, but we don't trust their security much.
Exactly. Low trust, but need internet access. They talk outwards, but shouldn't talk inwards or sideways.
And zone 3, the guest zone. For visitors' phones, maybe kids' tablets, temporary devices, they just need basic internet access, nothing else. Keep them separate.
Perfect. So you configure these 3 VLANs on your managed switch. VLAN 1 for work, VLAN 2 for IoT, VLAN 3 for guests. Then comes the crucial part, the firewall rules between them.
Okay, what are the rules?
The core rule is VLAN 2, IoT, and VLAN 3, guest, can only talk to the internet gateway, your router. They are explicitly blocked from initiating any traffic to VLAN 1, work.
So my work laptop in VLAN 1 can maybe reach out to control the thermostat in VLAN 2 if needed.
Depending on your specific rules, yes, you could allow that initiated from the trusted side.
But the thermostat in VLAN 2 absolutely cannot initiate a connection back to my laptop in VLAN 1.
Correct. Or even see that the laptop exists on the network. You've effectively cloaked your critical assets from the less trustworthy devices.
That's powerful. So if the smart TV gets infected with some malware,
The malware can stream data out to the internet, maybe. But it hits a brick wall if it tries to scan your network looking for your backup drive in VLAN 1. It simply can't reach it.
that's the real privacy payoff, isn't it? Keeping sensitive stuff, browsing history, documents, financials, completely separate from devices that might be leaky or insecure.
Absolutely. It prevents that potential data leakage where an insecure IoT device is maybe phoning home to who knows where, and it prevents it from also potentially snooping on your local network traffic.
And you mentioned compliance before. For small businesses working from home, this seems almost essential.
For many, it really is. If you handle client data, financial info, health records, standards like GDPR or HIPAA often imply or require this kind of data segregation and access control. Segmentation is a practical way to help meet those requirements. Keeping business data firewalled off from your personal streaming device is just good practice.
Okay, I'm sold on the why. Let's talk how. For someone listening who thinks, okay, I need this, but maybe doesn't have an IT background, what's the first step?
First, check what you already have. Some newer, more advanced routers, especially mesh systems, might offer some basic segmentation features beyond just a guest network. Look for things called IoT network or device profiles. Maybe you can get partway there with existing gear.
Good point. Start simple. But if that's not enough,
Then you're looking at buying that managed switch. Key things to look for are Layer 2 capabilities, which handle the VLAN tagging, and ideally a web interface or GUI management.
Ah, so you can configure it through a website on your computer, not complex command line.
Exactly. Makes it way more accessible for non-network engineers. Read reviews, look for ones known for being user-friendly.
Okay, got the switch. What's next? Is it just plugging things in?
Not quite. The most important planning step is next. Grouping your devices. Seriously, grab paper or a spreadsheet. List every single thing that connects to your network.
Everything. The printer, the consoles, everything.
Everything. Then decide which trust zone, which VLAN it belongs in. Work high trust, IoT low trust, guest untrusted. This thinking process is crucial. Forces you to actually consider the risk of each device.
Right. Once you have your groups, then you configure the VLANs and the firewall rules on the switch according to your plan.
And then, how do you know if you did it right? How do you test the walls?
Great question. You need to test. The simplest way is using the ping command, which is built into Windows, Mac OS, Linux.
Okay.
Connect your computer to the work VLAN, VLAN 1. Find the IP address of a device in your IoT VLAN, VLAN 2, like a smart camera. Open a command prompt or terminal and type ping IP address of camera.
And what should happen?
It should fail completely. You should get timeouts or destination host unreachable. If the ping succeeds, your firewall rule isn't working and that camera can still talk to your work segment. You need to go back and fix the rule.
That's a really practical test. Test from each zone to the others you want blocked.
Exactly. Verify the separation is actually working as intended.
And, even if setting up multiple VLANs feels daunting, you mentioned the guest network earlier.
Yeah. Even just diligently moving all your untrusted smart home stuff onto your router's existing guest network is a huge step up from having everything mixed together.
Yeah, absolutely massive. It's not perfect granular control, but it provides significant separation between your main devices and those potentially risky IoT gadgets. That's a fantastic first step. Small wins matter here.
So it's an iterative process. Start simple, maybe just with the guest network, then maybe add a managed switch later for more zones.
Precisely. Each step improves your network structure, enhances your data privacy, and gives you a much better handle on your digital environment. You're moving from a chaotic free-for-all to an organized, controlled setup.
It really reframes it from just defense to actual architectural control.
Yeah.
You're deciding how your network is built and how data flows or doesn't flow.
And that's really the key takeaway, the final thought perhaps. Segmentation gives you the power to draw the lines. You decide what connects, what stays isolated. It fundamentally changes your relationship with your network, putting you back in control.
It's about taking proactive steps to engineer privacy into your environment. Really well put.
Thanks. It's a foundational concept, I think.
Definitely food for thought. All right, that's all the time we have for today on the Privacy Report. Hope you found that useful. If you did, please do like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps us out. And just a reminder, this discussion was put together with the assistance of AI. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.